So let's talk about my man Charlie Kirk. He is having he's so let me tell you something. One thing I like about Charlie Kirk, right? He goes to, the college campuses and he basically goes back and forth when it comes to having conversation with people, letting anybody come up to the mic. And I appreciate that. You feel what I'm saying? I really do. Because it shows he's not scared to have a conversation. It shows he's being challenged right on the spot. Shows that one, he knows his stuff, shows intellect. And I can rock with it. We did do a segment before where, he was talking about what was he talking about? He was talking about, things within the black community. And, I guess I definitely had a whole bunch of people commenting on that saying all these different things or whatever. And, they can say what they're gonna say. I really don't care because I still stand on what I said. Even though I wasn't necessarily going against him, I was just simply saying, like, he kind of need to fall back because it's one of those things where it's kind of like and you don't really know what you're talking about like that, my dog. But let's get into it.
You know Destiny, right? You have to, right?
Know of him, yeah.
Oh, bro, debate him, please. But I'm the second best thing. Okay. So I think I'm gonna start. That pulling out of Ukraine, do you think it ruined America's reputation around the world? I think so. So I want to hear your opinion on it. Then we can chat about it.
What do you mean by pulling out of Ukraine? What do you mean by that?
We basically pulled out the funding for Ukraine, America, Trump.
Yeah, we've frozen it. Yeah, but we're also brokering peace, which I think would improve America's standing around the world for sure. We need to end this war, end the slaughter of all the people between the Russian and
We need to end it the right way. Ending war isn't always the best thing, in my opinion. You need to end it the right way.
And what would that mean? Millions more people dead?
No, it would actually mean fighting off Russia with economically. We need to add more sanctions. Sanctions is number one. Sanctions will kill Russia.
You know Trump
off.
did that last week, right?
Yeah, that's great. No, look. Everything Trump does is not a bad thing. I need everybody here to know that. Everything Trump does is not a bad thing.
No,
Trump
we agree.
does some good things.
A lot
of bad things. So America has went down the tank economically, too. I hate to switch topics like this, but economic, yeah, I know.
So we're off Ukraine, or we're on economics?
We're going to stay with Ukraine. So we promised Ukraine that we would stay in there if we took their nukes away, right? We're going to take your nukes away, and then we're going to help you. Do you agree that we made a promise with Ukraine to continue to defend them? Do you agree with that?
Yeah, Biden did, of course, but the question is at what cost and what expense, and how much money have we spent on the Ukrainian war?
I'll answer that right after I do this. Actually, I'll answer first. How much money have we spent? A ton. I agree. Actually,
$300 billion.
And most of that, you know where most of that is from? Old military weaponry. We take our old military weapons, since we haven't been a war for like for forever. We just have old military weaponry sitting around. We have old military weaponry sitting around. So we ship it to Ukraine so we don't have to pay it.
First of all, that's not true. We spent down our reserves.
Dude.
We gave them new F-35s. We gave them new ballistic missiles. We gave them new Tomahawk missiles. We gave them new Javelin missiles. The Javelin is not antiquated technology. And not to mention that our own reserves and our own capacity to fill our armaments has now been depleted because of Ukraine. Do you know we've also written checks
to... We're jump right there?
I'm sorry, what?
We're going to jump? Because most of the allocated funds are...
I'm going to keep going. We also put money straight into...
I got to cut you off. I'm so sorry.
Straight into their pension system.
I got to cut you off, man, because you just said a bunch of stuff and I got to respond to it. So most of the funds that are allocated to Ukraine are old weaponry. That is a fact. That is absolutely a fact. I'm surprised you didn't know that, but you can't just...
Again, it's just not true. So we are funding their pension system.
Look it up.
We are funding their entire government. The entire Ukrainian government is supported by wire transfers done from the Western
UN
world.
And US, I agree.
Not to mention, the missiles that they are actually firing are not, quote, outdated. They're ones that we should actually be able to use against the cartels.
No, I agree with that, because we are developing...
I don't want to spend too much time on this because...
Really? This is super important. This is the biggest political aspect ever, because we're losing foreign trust. We're losing foreign trust. You don't think so?
No, again, of course not. What does peace look like in Ukraine? Tell me the exact latitude and longitude that will make you happy. And is Crimea Russia's or Ukraine's?
I don't care about Crimea. It can be Russia's or Ukraine's.
That's the most important part of the entire war, man.
This is
literally the last point of negotiation.
You want my opinion? This is my opinion. I totally agree. Way too many deaths have happened in Ukraine. I understand the other perspective that that millions of people died in Ukraine, and we want that to stop any way possible. But this way that we're doing it is not correct. If we're allowing Russia to just take the land and just take the land and have no repercussions, what's stopping them from doing it again? Nothing. Nothing stopping them from doing it again. We need precautions. They already broke 3 agreements so far. Please tell me what's going to stop Russia from just doing it again. What's going to stop them?
Again, so first of all, you come from the wrong premise.
Get a load of this.
You come from the incorrect premise, as if that we are not currently being tough on Russia and that we're not currently being tough on them.
Bro, we're slopping on them right now. What are
And
you talking about? Trump is
we
slopping
have
on that
sanctions,
shit, bro.
we have
Oh, I'm
tariffs.
sorry. I didn't mean to cuss. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but
So is he saying that Biden was better? Since he's saying Trump is, what do you say, slushing on it? Like that, a lot of times I really be interested in understanding why, as regular citizens, why we are so involved in what's happening with our country and other people's country. Where it's like it doesn't necessarily affect us so much, like because with Ukraine and Russia, like we're not in that war. However, we have been funding Ukraine due to the last administration, and we have, our military weapons and stuff is over there. And it really just be interesting because it's like, well, everybody always wants to talk about the problem. What do you think the solution is? That's what I'm always interested in here. It's like, what is the solution? And to hear opposing parties have a dialogue about the solution to solve that problem, not really the problem and whose fault it is, and it's really like, what is the definite solution, or is there even a definite solution like that really can help?
But again, I just want to be very perfectly clear, which is we've spent $250 to $300 billion here.
Too much
You say you
money.
don't care about Crimea, and so if you don't care
You're going
about
to harp on that point?
yeah, it's okay. Do you care about the Donbass?
Yeah, I care about
Okay, so what
I
part?
care about it,
so
but that's
name-
not my
do-
argument.
Do you care about Mariupol? Do you think Mariupol is Russia or Ukraine's?
Not informed on Mariupol.
Okay, then this is not even a discussion worth
It's
having.
not a
then.
discussion
No,
because I
if you
can't
don't-
be
it's-
informed on one thing.
Okay, how about the Donetsk region?
Not informed.
Okay, again, this is like very basic
Inform me then.
Ukrainian.
Inform me then.
No, again, I'm not going to spend time educating on stuff that you can
Got
find
you.
at ChatGPT. Here's the point, okay? Here's the critical point, okay? Which is that this is now a question over geography. And so I'm not going to dialogue with you on it if you don't even know the main towns that
so
are in
do you
question.
think all the U.S. You're just talking about old territories owned by the USSR? Like that's just what we're talking about.
No, that's currently Russian-controlled land because of the war. The question is, should they keep it or not? That is what's being negotiated.
Yeah,
It-
but I'm arguing if they're invading more. I'm not arguing for keeping any land. I'm arguing for if they should continue to invade more land and what's keeping them from invading more land, which you won't answer.
yeah, okay.
My question once again what I'm saying. Why does that really pertain to us? Like, is he gonna go negotiate anything? Is he gonna go fight? Is like, what is he gonna do? And how does that affect our day-to-day life? Please, anybody answer that for me, because I genuinely don't know. So inform me. But I understand where Charlie's coming from too, where it's like we can't even have this real dialogue because if you're uninformed on some things, it's not my job to bring you up to par in this current debate. You get what I'm saying? It's like you were supposed to be informed to have this dialogue because it's basically we going back and forth in a nutshell to see who win. I've had plenty of instances where I was going back and forth with somebody, and when they're losing, they try to deflect and say, like how my man's is doing, like his attitude, oh, well, educate me then, because he's trying to find small little points to try to like pick a hole in to try to derail the entire argument, to derail the entire debate, to where it's like his thought necessarily won, but that's not the case. And it's like you get to a point where it's like, why am I going back and forth with you and I'm bringing myself down to your level, and it's really a waste of my time and effort, and I don't want to even go there. Because you'll actually see he like, yo, like it's no point to you continue to talk to you because you actually don't even know, bro.
Okay, again, the minerals deal, part of it is a security agreement. Number two, we should actually have a warmer relationship with Russia, which would prevent Russian expansion
Because we're
throughout Ukraine.
pussies. Yes.
Well, okay, again, it's easy for you to say that. Do you think it was wrong for us?
Because we pussies. See, sometimes it's like having conversations with some people that just say stupid shit is the craziest shit ever. Do you know Russia is also like a nuclear superpower? What do you want us to do? You want us to just start shooting missiles at the motherfuckers and then really spark like the next world war? Like what do you suggest be done? Like you want us to send our troops over there? Like don't forget we just was in a 20-year war. The man,
To work with Russia to defeat the Nazis?
No, because Russia, it wasn't as bro. Russia. We can. Whoa, whoa! Please don't think I'm stumbling. First of all, Germany is 1,000 times worse than Russia is right now. Like I'm actually coming from a normal perspective on this. Like you're saying, it's reasonable to say that we're losing too many Ukrainians. Like I understand that. That's why letting them have some land is almost understandable to me. But what's not understandable is that we have nothing to prevent them from taking more. I feel like you would agree with this. We need stronger, reasonable, like lining to make sure they don't just break another deal. You know how many deals they broke already?
And
Three.
we broke
They
a lot of
three
deals. You know, we broke a lot of deals too. We said NATO would not expand eastward. We said we would not involve our. No, we broke that deal. That was America.
Yeah, I know. That's
So
my point. We're fucking sucking right now.
No, dude. You understand? NATO expansion happened before Trump. Like, you got to calm down, man. Like,
No, this is too serious to be calm, man.
George W. Bush broke the NATO agreement. Biden broke the NATO. So, for example, we said
You
that
think
NATO
I
would.
condone that? No.
Okay, Biden broke the agreement we had with Russia that NATO would not expand eastward. Finland joined NATO under Joe Biden. So
I'm not a Biden stan. I'm talking about America.
Okay, that's
no. Wait, what are you trying to say then? Tell me.
I'm disproving all of your points, and you're not even internalizing
all right,
it. Okay,
tell me one more time. I'm super listening.
Okay, again, man, like you're a perfect example. And I'm going to say this as lovingly as I can.
Inform me.
You're a perfect example of someone who thinks you know everything about a topic, and you know literally nothing about a topic.
I literally said I didn't know 3 things.
So thank you for your time.
Really? You're not going to inform me?
Thank you. We spent enough time on it. Thank you.
Scared at.
He should.
that's crazy, man. It's like you can't even have intellectual conversations with some people who think they just know it all because it comes to a point where it's like sometimes you have to stop talking and just listen and then ask questions to where you get a level of understanding and then at certain points where it's like okay I get it, it's a better understanding. Now is my time to what I'm saying, interject my point, my opinion, and have that dialogue to where I'm learning and then we vibing at that point. You get what I'm saying? That's kind of what I got from that, man. But like I say, that's one reason why I like Charlie Kirk. He's not scared to have that conversation. I'm not saying dude is perfect by any means necessary, but it's always interesting to hear the different points. And of course, there's always, there's a learning process. So I always think that stuff is like really cool. You know what I'm saying? So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, and of course, drop a comment on your thoughts. Let me know, and anything that I miss, make sure you fill me in on it. You feel what I'm saying? I think that's it. That's all. That's all I got for you. That's really all I got. I just need y'all to drop them comments. Let me know what y'all think. Make sure y'all go down in the description. The link is in the description for the Patreon and the Discord. Hit me up. Until then, I'll catch y'all later. Peace.